Last time, we separated today's desk from the project handbook. The context window held what Claude could see right now, while persistent memory survived tomorrow's session. CLAUDE.md became the team handbook, personal memory became your sticky note, and auto-memory became the notebook Claude writes for itself. The key contrast was simple. Without memory, every session starts from scratch. With memory, rules, imports, path-specific guidance, and safe defaults travel with the project. That recap sets up the next layer, reusable workflows. Think of a reusable workflow like a binder on a shelf. You do not open the whole binder every morning. You read the label first. That is the idea behind progressive disclosure. Metadata loads first, instructions load when triggered, and resources load only when needed. Auto-invocation is the moment Claude chooses the binder because your request matches the label. A subagent is a separate desk for that work. The context window budget is the shelf space. Too many labels still take room, so installed skills have a real limit. Think of skills as specialized employees in a company. Each one has a job title, a job description, and a procedures manual. Claude is the receptionist. At the start of the day, it sees the job titles and descriptions. When a customer asks for data analysis or deployment, Claude routes the work to the right specialist. If the match is obvious, the specialist is called automatically. If you want to be explicit, you call that specialist by name with /skill name. Think of loading like walking into a workshop. The sign on the door is visible immediately, but the manual and tools stay on the shelf until needed. Level 1 is metadata. Name and description are always loaded, around 100 tokens per skill. Level 2 is instructions. The SKILL.md body loads when the skill is triggered, under 5,000 tokens. Level 3 is resources. Scripts, templates, and references load as needed. This matters because context stays focused instead of carrying every workflow file all the time. Think of skill locations like who gets access to a shared playbook. Personal skills live at ~claude/skills/name/SKILL.md, and only you see them. Project skills live at ~claude/skills/name/SKILL.md, so the team sees them through Git. Enterprise skills come from managed settings, so the whole organization sees them. Plugin skills live inside a plugin skills directory, visible wherever that plugin is installed. Location decides whether the workflow is private, shared, managed, or bundled. Think of invocation settings like a safety switch on a machine. Some machines are safe to start automatically. Others need a human hand on the switch. The default setting lets you invoke a skill and lets Claude auto-invoke it, which fits general skills. Disable model invocation :true keeps user invocation on but blocks Claude from starting it, which fits deploy, commit, and publish workflows. User invocable :false hides the command from you, but lets Claude use it for background knowledge. Think of Frontmatter like an employee badge. It tells Claude who this specialist is and where the work should happen. The name field becomes the /command, such as /data pipeline. The description field is the matching text for auto-invocation, up to 1,024 characters. Context: fork moves the work into an isolated subagent, so the main conversation stays clean. The agent field chooses the subagent type with that fork, such as explore or plan. Think of the remaining fields like permissions on a workshop door. Allowed tools decides what the skill can touch, for example bash with Python, plus read. Model chooses a different model, such as Opus. Effort changes how hard the skill thinks, such as high. Hooks attach lifecycle events like pre-tool use and post-tool use. These fields matter after identity is clear because they decide power, reasoning level, and the events the workflow responds to. Think of the data analysis skill as a recipe card for a data assistant. The file lives at ~claude/skills/data-analysis/SKILL.md. Its name is data analysis. Its description says to analyze datasets with pandas and create visualizations, then names data analysis, CSV files, data frames, statistical analysis, and visualization. That concrete wording is what makes auto-invocation work. The allowed tools keep it focused on Python commands, reading files, and writing outputs. Think of this skill body as the checklist the specialist follows after being called. It loads the dataset and inspects shape, types, and missing values. Then it generates summary statistics with describe and value underscore counts for categoricals. It identifies and handles missing data, reporting the chosen strategy. It creates PNG visualizations, distribution plots for numeric columns, a correlation heat map, and top categorical value bar charts. The output is a markdown table, a summary table of key statistics, 2 to 3 actionable insights, and file paths to generated visualizations. The constraints are pandas, matplotlib, and seaborn only, no plotly in terminal, save plots to ./output, and try UTF-8 before Latin 1. Think of deployment like handing someone the keys to a real building. You do not want an assistant doing that by accident. The ship skill uses disable model invocation :true and context :fork with npm, git, and docker commands allowed. The user invokes it with /ship staging. The procedure runs npm test, stops and reports if tests fail, runs npm run build, tags the release with the date and time git tag shown on screen, deploys to the argument value for staging or production, runs smoke tests against the deployed URL, and reports the URL and version. Think of background knowledge like a quiet note taped inside a cabinet. You do not call it directly, but it keeps mistakes from happening. The legacy billing context skill uses user invocable :false, so Claude can use it when billing code appears. It records that the orders table uses amount_cents as an integer, not dollars. Refunds are negative amounts in the same table. TaxJar is flaky on weekends, so retry logic belongs there. Billing_address can be null for historical orders before 2023. Currency is always USD because multi-currency was never implemented. Now let's hit the traps. This section matters because reusable workflows fail quietly when their setup gets blurry, bloated, unsafe, or hard to trigger. Think of the description like a label on a drawer. If it only says helps with documents, nobody knows when to open it. Name the PDF actions instead, extract tables, fill forms, and merge documents. Think of a do-everything skill like one employee with every job title. It matches poorly and becomes hard to trust. Split the work into /PDF extract, /PDF merge, and /PDF fill. Think of SKILL.md as the front desk manual, not the archive room. 800+ lines bury the workflow. Keep it under 500 lines and move details to separate reference files. Think of an unknown skill repo like a script someone handed you in a parking lot. It can direct Claude to execute arbitrary code. Audit every file before installing it. Think of auto-invocation like a smoke alarm. You test it with real smoke, not by saying test alarm forever. Use natural requests, or the skill will trigger too often or never trigger. Think of supporting files like appendices. The main manual should stay short, while deep reference material sits nearby. Use reference links such as references/spec.md so details load only when needed. The decision framework is simple. If you need a reusable workflow, put it in SKILL.md. If you want Claude to choose it automatically, make the description concrete. If the workflow is safe and general, leave both invocation paths on. If it has side effects, make it user-only. If it should guide Claude quietly, make it Claude-only. Progressive disclosure keeps metadata around 100 tokens, then loads instructions and resources later. Context::fork runs the work in an isolated subagent. Bundled skills include /simplify, /batch, /debug, /loop, and /Claude API. Description quality is the lever that decides whether auto-invocation works. Think of the next part as hiring a consultant instead of only keeping a procedure manual. A skill decides when a specialist workflow should run. A subagent is the separate Claude instance that actually does delegated work in its own context window. In Part 6, we will look at context pollution, system prompts, tool access, worktree isolation, and agent teams. You already saw context::fork. Next, we open that door and see what runs on the other side.